which history shows different examples for this. So then there is the crisis of the state, and specifically the state budget. And then all these crisis symptoms in the third world specifically, and more also in parts of the so-called second world, the former socialistic systems which were transformed into market economies, and several of these countries get more and more involved also now in these crisis tendencies which are mentioned already here. Well, it's at first glance difficult to imagine how this and that may be connected. And in fact, there is a widespread unconsciousness, a widespread, as I call it, fog around this connection. And this fog around the money, or the fog around the interest, I painted symbolically like this. So meanwhile, nobody can really neglect or ignore that these these crisis tendencies really exist, and also that these crisis tendencies escalate during the last years and 1 or 2 decades, but especially since 2008 with the escalation of the world financial crisis. One cannot ignore that there are fundamentally problems. The more it is amazing that the connection between these crisis symptoms and between these deeper roots, these are nearly not discussed in most levels in policy, in the media, and in economic science. Meanwhile, there are a few persons and scientists and engaged people who brought it into the discussion, and it spreads. And this occasion today is another event of this kind, and let's hope, or I hope, that it may be some opportunity to look deeper into the problems as it usually is done. Well, why should the interest be a problem? I turn this all around, this blackboard or brown board or wall. And now comes another brick in the wall. Yeah? Let's think about the dynamics of interest over some period of several decades. The problems only show after a period of several decades, not in the short run, in the long run. And this may be the time, let's say 15, 30, 45, 60, 75 years. I choose this period by reason of a specific aspect which I will develop. And here I choose, this will be in euro or in dollar, 16 times. So what happens with an amount of money if it's put onto a bank account and leading to an interest for the creditor, for this person or institution which gives the money to the bank. Wait a short minute. I share it with 16 into the half, 8, 4, 2, 1. We start with €1. This also can be €1 billion in the bigger context. It's only an example. And I ask, what will happen with this €1 or dollar or whatever over these decades if there is an interest rate of 5%? Only an example. And it is not difficult with a small machine. Where do I have it? Here. I suppose everybody of you has it in the pocket or in the computer. There's also possibilities. And there is one formula which is called the compound interest formula, which means that €1 is leading in 1 year to an interest income of 5 euro cent. And now you can decide what will you do with this interest income, with this 5 euro cent. Will you take it away and consume it, for example, or will you put it additionally onto the sum and add it to the sum of this €1? These are the two alternatives, the two extremes, and I now choose the one extreme, that all the interest income is added to the sum of the starting euro and the growing amount of it. So this is what we call, or what is called, compound interest. Interest on interest. By the way, it is interesting that in English the interest has this word, interest. It is different in German. There is no such amazing phenomenon. But in English we really could ask, who has interest in interest? And this I hope to work out in this lecture as far as possible in a limited time. It is really interesting. And I hope I will awake or enforce your interest in the background and in the deeper roots and in the consequences of interest system, and not only out of the perspective of an individual creditor or debitor, but out of the bigger context of an economy, of national economy, or even wider of a world economy. And I studied economics a long time ago, as you can imagine. I heard a lot and read a lot about the role of interest in the economic system and in market economy, and it all sounded that it is a very positive and very important part of this market economy. And it took me decades to come onto tracks of thoughts and of insights and of questions at first about the more negative and dramatic, really dramatic aspects of a compound interest system in the whole, in the world economy and world financial system. So I choose this example as one of simple possibility. If you take this example, the formula is very simple. You can take this €1 and with 5% you add here in this formula 5 cents. I do not want to paint the mathematic formula.